Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting off, let's talk about the chords we're going to be using. We're going to use a C chord, and then we're going to use a G/B chord. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to take your middle finger, you're going to go to the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you're going to take your pinky and you're going to go to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then we're going to go to an A minor 7 chord, which is like an A minor chord, except you don't need the ring finger in there. So you're just going from here to here to here, and then back up. Okay, so let's just make sure we understand everything that's going to be going on with the left hand, and then we'll talk about the picking structure of the right hand. Okay, so C, moving to that G/B, moving to the A minor 7, then back up to the G/B. Then we're going to start all over. We're going to go C, G/B, to A minor 7. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to a D with F sharp in the bass. And there's a number of ways that you can play this. I'll show you how I do it, although I'll switch just depending on how our things are kind of feeling for the day. But what you can do is you can play a D/B by playing a D chord and just putting your thumb over on the 6th string on the F sharp on the 2nd fret of the 6th string right there. And that would work just fine. That's a D with F sharp in the bass. Okay, so D/F sharp it's called. Sometimes what I'll do when I play this is I'll play the D F sharp with these 2 fingers instead. I won't use anybody on the 1st string. I'll just take my 1st finger over and play F sharp with that. And then I'll play the top of the D chord with these other 2 fingers. Okay, now that does mean that the 1st string really isn't going to be used because that would create some new chord. It would be a D sus2 actually with that open. But in our case, we're not using that string anyway, and that's why that works. So if I'm on A minor 7 and I want to switch over to that D F sharp, I could run over to D, add my thumb over the top, or I might just be on the A minor 7 and then I'll switch over like this and use my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And sometimes, many times actually, I'll make D F sharp like this, and I'm not sure if it's just because my fingers are small or what the deal is, but I'll make D F sharp with these 3 fingers instead. So I'll use my middle finger up on top, my 3rd finger or ring finger on the 3rd string, and my pinky on the 2nd string. For you, the most important thing is it doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, whatever works for you is important. So let's just start with that whole thing first. And then what we'll do is we'll start developing the picking pattern into this. So we're going. Okay, now there's a couple of different things that you can do with the picking pattern. What I want to do is explain to you the concept first, and then if you wind up switching strings a little bit from what I'm doing, it's okay. So the first thing we're going to do is just look at that pattern. Basically what it is it's an I call them in and out patterns. So what I'm doing is I'm going to my thumb each time, every other time in between the other fingers. So in this case, let's take the chord out now for just a second. And let's just work on that pattern. So what I'm doing is I'm playing 5th string with my thumb, 3rd string with my 1st finger, 4th string with my thumb, and then I'm going to the 2nd string with my middle finger. So you just want to develop that. Okay, so start with that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start all over again. We're just going to start the pattern all over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, but then we stop, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now, in the pattern itself, if it did something like this, for instance, if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and you ended on the 5th string instead of the 4th string, it would be just fine. Okay? Sometimes what you're looking for, like in Lindsey's case, what you're looking for is flow. It's not that the pattern has to be exactly the same every time. It's more the flow of the music that you're really looking for. See how I'm switching the two of them? Here we go. See, I'm switching the bass note, the very last note, but it doesn't really make any difference in the bigger picture. Now, the trick is to take that pattern right there, and now you do it over G/B. So when you go, and then you go to A minor 7, then back to the G/B. So you're going, now, right there, what I do is I'm taking another idea from a Lindsey song, Lindsey Buckingham, and I'm just rotating those same 4 notes until the very end. And then I'm just stopping like I always do. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? But the last one I leave off the 4th note. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Sometimes what I'll do is a reactionary thing, not really because I'm trying to, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll add in that 4th note. I'll add it in on the 3rd string, and I'm just explaining that to you. You don't have to do that. I'm just explaining that sometimes it happens when I'm playing. Because I've done a lot of these patterns before and I've learned a lot of songs by these artists, such as Lindsey Buckingham, what I figured out, again, that I've just explained to you is that the most important thing is you get the flow of what the pattern is supposed to be. If you switch up the picking a little bit to accommodate what's most comfortable for you, that's actually a really good thing. I mean, that's how you develop your own style. That's how you make things more comfortable, and you're able to remember them better as you continue trying to learn how to play the stuff that you want to do. So we're using this as a springboard, if you will, into doing other things. So the first thing for you and I to do is just get comfortable with being able to go from here. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter which way you want to go. Okay, or if you want to do something like that, I'm telling you, it doesn't make any difference. It's perfectly fine. Now, I think the reason why Lindsey would leave a space at the end is because it gives him time to move to the next chord. It gives a little bit of space. If you look at other songs that are kind of similar to this, like Dust in the Wind and things like that, there's a little bit by Kansas. There's a little bit less space in there to move. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's another song called Marry Me by Train, I think it is, that has a very similar style of picking as this does too. So you should check those kind of things out as well. Kind of get a history lesson on how Lindsey Buckingham has influenced other bands as well. This sort of picking style. It's very folk, very bluegrass, which is his history. So let's go ahead and try and put these three chords together. So we're going to do this. Watch. We're going to go then back, then we're going to start all over. So what's kind of cool is you're going from this open B string to the 3rd fret of that, which is D, and then open again, and then back. So you get this nice little melody happening with your middle finger. Then we just have that elongated A minor 7. It's just something a little bit different. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start all over, but we're going to go into that D/F sharp that we just talked about. So we're going then down, down again, Back up. Here we go now. We're going down. So when we go to that D/F sharp, you'll notice I'm using my middle, my third, and my pinky. For some reason right now that just feels most comfortable for me to move to. So I'm going right there, okay? Now what's happening is I'm keeping the pattern consistent. I'm doing the same thing, but instead of picking the 5th string with my thumb, I'm moving to the 6th string. So I'm just skipping that 5th string in between, because I don't have a finger on it right now anyway, and I really don't want that note in my chord right now. Now, that's leading me up to the 6th string, which the next chord is going to be G, which works out perfectly. So now what I have to do is I have to switch over to the G chord, and I'm using a 4-finger G. That way I still have that D down here. Okay, now I want to go back to that D/F sharp. So you can see this would be a real logical place to try and switch over like this. Okay, so you'll see when I came from the A minor 7, it made more sense for me to move to the D/F sharp with these 3 fingers. If you're on G and you're moving to that D/F sharp, it might make more sense to use these 3 fingers. It's entirely up to you. Let me try and play it up to speed and see what I normally do. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I would move from this G to this D like that. But I'm just telling you, it doesn't make any difference. If you'd rather go like that or go, I think that was a little bit harder to get to, but whatever's most comfortable for you. So I'm going from my D/F sharp to the G, and when I go to that G, I'm doing the same picking pattern. Then I'm going to D/F sharp again, whether I use the same fingers or different, it's entirely up to you. Now I'm going to go to an E minor 7, and I'm going to just do that continuous pattern again, just like I did on the A minor 7. Now again, you have the availability of going, like you could switch up your bass note if you wanted to. You know, whatever you'd like to do. It's easier when you first start learning how to do this, though, to maybe just use that 6th string over and over and over as your bass note until you get more comfortable with it. If you do find that your thumb does want to switch strings and it wants to alternate bass notes or something automatically, don't sweat it. Enjoy it. I mean, that's perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up to the C, and I'm just going to drop down. A minor, 7. Then I'm going to tag back over that D/F sharp. Start all over. E minor 7. And then I just ended on C just to end this patternized idea. But you can see how the chord progression is very common. A couple things I want to talk about with that is the idea of having these slash chords, which is used so common in so many 70s songs and even songs of obviously the 80s and today. But having that transition of going or, you know, it just sounds really great being able to have those in between or transitionary chords in between. And you've probably heard them a billion times in different kinds of songs, but that's what we're doing with that, okay? So here it is a little bit faster. I'm going to make the first part go by, and if you can, play along with me. We'll go 1. We're going to start from the beginning now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Go back up. Now we go down and we hover over that chord. Here we go. Start all over. Now we go down. Now we transition. Now up to G. D, F sharp, sorry, and then E minor, hover, C, G/B, A minor, and that's how we're going to go. It's kind of hard to talk and play at the same time. I should probably practice that a little more, but you get the idea, okay? So it's a nice intro into a Lindsey Buckingham style fingerpicking. And really my goal with Lindsey in accentuating Lindsey wasn't so much about his soloing style, because his fingerpicking is what makes him so iconic. I mean, there's so many great things that he does with his finger style. So this is the first example that we've got is getting comfortable with this intro to Lindsey Buckingham with this picking pattern. So what I want you to do is make sure you spend some time with this, break it down as much as you need to, get a hold of me on the Facebook community page if you need to, and we'll talk about this. We'll break these things down and figure out if there's anything that you're missing. Remember, always, always, always remember, if there's something about the pattern of your left hand or something about the pattern of your right hand that you feel would work a little bit better if you changed it somehow, I need you to understand, never feel guilty about that, because that's what this is all about. It's not about you doing exactly what I'm doing, as I'm not doing exactly what Lindsey's doing. I'm taking ideas and I'm reformulating it to make it comfortable for myself. That's what I want you to focus on most. Okay, so get a hold of me if you have any questions about anything, but let's start there. And when you're feeling good, we'll go ahead and move on to the next part.